That's gonna hurt. Hey, welcome back to the music Snob, where I know music, unless it sucks. So I don't know. It's a guitarlele. That's what you call it. It sounds like a ukulele. It's tuned. Well, it's tuned like it's six strings. It's tuned like a guitar, but it's tuned to A. So yes, it was not the right key, but yeah, you knew what it was. You knew what it was. So you knew the whole point I do that is just so you can tell. I could play that on a mandolin. I could play it on an actual ukulele. I could play it on whatever the hell. And you know that was a Rush song. And that's why we're here today. I want to talk about Rush. Now, I used to talk before it was monetized. I would actually play parts of other people's music and stuff and talk about the music. But what I started and ended up doing here a while ago is looking at some of the album covers. And I'm Rush has a lot of great album covers. I did this once before. I did Journey, had some great album covers. I did ELO, I did Boston, and now we're doing Rush, and that's what we're talking about today here on the Music Snob. So yeah, Rush, one of the best Canadian power trios. How many are there? So it's them or Triumph. I have not yet looked at Triumph, but maybe sometime I will. But good Canadian boys. 26 million copies sold just in the U.S. 42 million worldwide. Canadian Music Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Even though, you know what, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to me is it's the Jokin' Roll Hall of Fame. Sometimes they make a good decision. Rush was a good decision. The last few years, not so much. At some point, I'll probably do a video on this year's nominees and see who should be there, who shouldn't be in there. But we'll get to that at some point. But today I want to talk about the Rush. We're going to talk about the album covers. I'm going to do a quick little bio. So get yourself a stubby, maybe some Molson Canadian, maybe some Pilsner, because we're Canadians, or get some Timbits. Sit back, relax. We're going on a musical journey. We're going to talk about the album covers. Rush's album covers. I'm not going to dig deep into the inside the actual, like on the back or anything, or the liner notes, any of that stuff. I'm just talking about the cover itself. What gets you when you go to the record store? Do they still have record stores? When you go to the record store and you're looking for stuff and you go, holy shit, that looks pretty cool. Because I don't know if I want to admit it, but there's a couple album covers that I may have bought just because of the cover, not really knowing anything about who the band was. It's possible. I'm not going to promise. So, Rush, founded in the center of the universe. For those of you who don't know, that's Tirana. In 1968, by, and this is where I didn't know this. It's not who you think it was. Maybe you do, maybe you know. But I didn't know this. You think it's the three guys. Well, it was not those three guys. It was Alex. Let's see if I can say this. Alex Zivojinovich on guitar. John Rutsey on drums, and a guy named Jeff Jones on bass, and he was also the front man. So yeah, of course, Alex Zivojinovich. I'm sorry. Of course, he changed his name to Alex Lifeson at some point. Drummer John Howard Rutsey was friends with Alex for many years. They previously had a band called The Projection. I never heard of them. After that, they brought in Jeffrey Robin Jones to form a new band, and they played a gig for $25 with no name yet for the band. But then Rutsey's brother, he suggested they got to have something quick, to the point, simple, maybe one syllable, so people remember him. And he said Rush, and I hope he got a cut of that. So somehow Jeff Jones here, he had issues getting to Alex's house so they could practice. So he, out of the goodness of his heart, suggested a guy that Alex went to school with that he knew he could do vocals and he could play bass. And that guy's name was Gary Getty. Weinrib? I didn't know that. Don't feel bad for Jeff Jones, by the way. He went on to become a member of a band called Ocean. Now, I've never heard of Ocean, but I think we all know the song. I got to put down my notes, and we're gonna sing this all together. Put your hand in the hand of the man. It's something, something, yeah. Put your hand in the hand of the man. It's yeah. He was. You remember that song? It was like a number one in like I don't know, like early 70s. I don't know. But he went on to do that. It was 71. And if that wasn't good enough, put your hand in the hand of the man. After they broke up, he joined Red Rider. Remember Red Rider? Now, I've talked about Tom Cochrane. Red Rider is one of the best Canadian bands. Lunatic Fringe, Tom Cochrane, Big League, Life is a Highway. He still plays with Tom Cochrane today. He plays with Burton Cummings. So he has not done badly since he left Rush. So Rush was born. Now, Rush was not always the three-piece band that you and I remember. At one point, they had a second guitar player named Mitch Bossy and a keyboard player named Lindy Young. And at some point, they as a four-piece, they got themselves a manager, and his name was Ray. Now, if I'm pronouncing this wrong, I'm sorry. Leave it in the comments. Ray Daniels. Now, I didn't know this name offhand, but he later managed Max Webster, which was, if you remember Kim Mitchell, another great Canadian treasure. Max Webster, he managed Kim Mitchell later. Kim Mitchell was the guitar player and one of the vocals for Max Webster. He also later managed Extreme and Van Halen. Did you know that? And the best part about this is Sammy and one of his biographies, or at least his one biography. He claimed that Ray Daniels was the reason that they ended up breaking up, because he put them against each other. So maybe he wasn't the best. I don't know. Anyways, Ray convinced Alex. Now, see, this just hearing about the Sammy Hagar thing. He says he thinks Ray broke Van Halen up. This guy, he convinced Alex and the drummer John Rutsey to kick Geddy out of the band. I don't know why. What the hell his problem was? He convinced them to kick him out of the band. So they got a different bassist, a vocalist named Joe Perna. I hope I put that up right. I hope I don't have to correct it. And they renamed themselves Hadrian. Hadrian. Got nothing. But that didn't work out for some reason. And then they had to go back to Geddy. And, please, because Geddy was doing okay on his own. He didn't need the crap. They called Geddy and they begged him to come back. Eventually, they just stuck it out as a trio. And so they had Geddy, Alex, and John Rutsey. And, of course, Geddy had changed his name to Geddy Lee. So Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee, and John Rutsey. They released their first album. It was called Rush. Now, here we go. 1974. And after playing a few gigs, and John Rutsey left the band due to health issues. And I guess he didn't really like the direction they were going. They hired a sit-in guy, a filling guy, to finish the tour that they were doing. His name was Jerry Fielding. And in July 1974, Neil Peart joined 2 weeks before their first U.S. tour. It's good timing. And that brings us to the three guys that you and I remember being in that band for the best part of the band. And they made Rush what it is remembered for today. Okay, so 1974, Rush. Well, it says it all, doesn't it? Essentially, it was a self-produced album. It was self-recorded, self-distributed. Cover art by a guy named Paul Weldon. Okay, so he was Paul Weldon. Now, see, I'm trying to find out. The first one, the Journey one, I didn't know enough about all the people doing the covers, but I'm trying to find out more. Paul Weldon was a founding member of Edward Bear. I've never heard of Edward Bear. He was a keyboardist and a bass player. They had formed their own company, Moon Records, and they were only pressed 3,500 copies of this initially. And somehow a radio station in Cleveland started playing Working Man. And because it became so popular, the Mercury called up and said, hey, I'll give you a little, if you let us re-release this. And somehow it went gold. Now, let's just look at this. Okay, what can we say? It says Rush. and it's by Rush. And I guess it's like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah, it's coming through the It's coming through the brick wall or a window. 1975, Fly By Night. Oh, we all know that song. Cover painted by Eraldo Curagati, who is an Italian painter. He also painted the covers of the Kiss solo series. Remember those? So he did other stuff. This was the first album with Neil Peart. Of course, Fly By Night was the big song everybody remembers. It sold platinum. So that's pretty good. Produced by Terry Brown, who wound up producing every Rush album until Signals. Also known for producing Cutting Crew, Broadcast, their first album. Max Webster, of course. Lawrence Gowan. You know who Lawrence Gowan is. Yeah, that guy. So let's just look at this album cover. It's an owl, and it's blue. It's cool. I'm sure it's going to get better later. 1975, Caress of Steel. All right. Produced by Terry Brown again. Cover art by a guy named Hugh Syme. Hugh Syme, a graphic artist and keyboard player who has played on several Rush albums, and we'll talk about more of that later. This guy, I was looking up his stuff. I might have to do a thing about Hugh Syme at some point. This guy is also famous for doing the X Factor cover for Iron Maiden. He co-designed Def Leppard's Retroactive. Also created artwork for Megadeth, Styx, and Whitesnake. So this guy's been around. I might have to do one. Some comments if you want to know more about Hugh Syme. Cover was intended to be printed in a silver color to give it a steel appearance, hence Caress of Steel. It came out gold due to a printing error, and they just kind of went with it. And by coincidence, it sold gold. I guess if it went steel, it would have been, well, maybe platinum. But I don't know. It looks like the Golden Child standing on a mountain. Maybe he's waiting for a train. Not sure. 1976, 2112. Produced again by Terry Brown, of course. 3 million copies in the U.S. alone. I don't even know how many in the world. They had two. This cover, it was re-released at the 40th anniversary, and then they had a second cover, which it's the same, similar, but it's different. I guess that's the first appearance of the Starman logo. Somehow, I'm not entirely. I know that's they call that the Starman, the circle with the star. I guess. Cover by, of course, Hugh Syme. So yeah, it's Rush 2012, and it's got the star circle thing. 40th anniversary. It's got the man, the Star Man. I can't really see it in the other one. I kind of like the second one better. A little updated. Cool. Also 1976, All the World's a Stage, which was their first live album. Produced by Terry Brown. Double live album. Sold 1 million copies in the U.S. alone, and of course, Hugh Syme somehow had something to do with this. So basically, this is a picture of a stage. So all the cover is a stage. 1977, A Farewell to Kings. 40th. Oh, they had a 40th anniversary cover too. I'm going to look at that. This is also produced by Terry Brown. Of course, had that song I may or may not have remembered here. In the right key. Platinum in the US and Canada. Of course, the cover by Hugh Syme. What can I tell you? I'm just going to read what I read. The cover art was produced by Hugh Syme. It was based on an idea that the group had described to him, which covers the themes addressed on the title track, which would be A Farewell to Kings. Front cover features a composite photograph of a puppet-like king. Oh, you can see that. Puppet-like king slumped on a throne in front of a demolished building, contrasted with the Toronto skyline. No, I don't see the Toronto skyline. I know that ain't all right, that tall thing there, that ain't the CN Tower. That's a cool cover. The 40th anniversary cover is the king ain't slumped over anymore. He's going for a walk. He's hanging out. I think I can see his strings actually. So he's, yeah, you can see his puppet. So 40 years later, they picked him up and he went for a walk. Good for the puppet. 1978 Hemispheres. It's got somebody's ass on it. That's cool. Hemispheres. Produced by Terry Brown again. Went platinum, of course. Hugh Syme designed this once again. Now, for me personally, there's a guy with a suit. It's Charlie Chaplin. And then a naked person. Howdy. How you doing? Cover was designed, of course, by Hugh Syme. Depicts a figure that resembles the one in the painting The Son of Man. Are you an art aficionado? Because I'm not. By Rene Magritte, who's standing on the left side of the brain. Okay. Looks like the right to me. I guess it's stage left. Depicts a figure that resembles the one in the painting The Son of Man, blah, blah, blah. Guy standing on the left side of the human brain, looking in the direction of a nude man. Okay, so the guy in the suit's looking at the nude dude. In a ballet pose. Okay. I don't know what I don't know what they were thinking. I never put a lot of thought into this. Now, do they, I believe there's also a 40th anniversary. There's the brain. Oh, there's the 40th anniversary. There's the brain. There's the naked dude. And instead of pointing, he's now, have you got tickets to the gun show? And the guy in the suit is out of there. He's sick of the naked dude. He's gone. He's like, and I put some pants on over there, buddy. 1979, Rush Through Time. I can see Alex and Getty and I guess Neil's, I can't really see him. But that's their stage. All the world is a stage. Rush Through Time, compilation album only released in Europe, is a picture disc. I couldn't find anything about the album cover except that Hugh Syme played synthesizer on some of these tracks, I guess. Of course, this album produced by Terry Brown. 1980, Permanent Waves, produced by Terry Brown. Platinum again. This had the spirit of radio. Number 4 on Billboard. And of course, Hugh Syme played piano and did the cover concept, which is it's a background scene from a photo taken by Flip Schulke of the Galveston seawall. Well, I didn't realize that. In Texas during Hurricane Carla on September 11th, 1961. The woman in the foreground with she got her dress blown up like Marilyn Monroe, is Paula Turnbull, who is also on Exit Stage Left a couple of years later. So we'll probably talk about that in a bit. There's a guy in the background. Oh, I can see him waving by looks like the Route 66 sign. And waving in the background is sleeve designer. That's Hugh Syme. Well, looky there. I just learned something. To create the appearance of Turnbull's skirt blowing in the wind, a fan was placed out of her. So they had a fan. Instead of having a grate underneath her when they had a fan. It's better than just have, they could have a guy up there just, that would be bad. Shouldn't think about that kind of thing. Okay, and they also had a 40th anniversary of Permanent Waves where, okay, I guess they're still in the hurricane. Maybe it could be a different hurricane, but there's a guy holding a coffee, or maybe he's a reporter. Upside down car. There's a newspaper going by. I see a parking meter. 1981, Moving Pictures, the best title to cover ratio. I'm going to say it's the best cover that goes with the title, I think. To me, immediately, I can see that they are indeed moving pictures. That's pretty good. Their highest selling album, 5 million in the U.S., produced by Terry Brown. Limelight, Tom Sawyer, YYZ, YYZ, depends if you're Canada. Red Barchetta. I'm not even saying anything right. Number 3 on Billboard. Of course, Hugh Syme played synth. And there's 2 covers. But I want to talk about this. This cover was, it would take a lot of guys to design this. Hugh Syme, of course, designed it. It cost him apparently $9,500. Get into that. Anyways, it's a triple entendre. The front depicts movers, who are carrying pictures. Well, yes, it does. On the side, people are shown crying. I can't really see that they're crying because the picture is passing by or emotionally moving. That's okay. Now, I didn't see that coming. And the back cover. Well, I'm not talking about the back cover, but what I also found, the three paintings, if you can see, there's the Starman on the far right, and in the middle, it's dogs playing poker. And the one on the left is Joan of Arc burning, I guess, at the stake. So, sorry, Joan. And then there's a 40th anniversary one again, which, well, there's three. There's a Dalmatian right there. Is he playing poker? It looks like there's a fireman. I don't know what this one. I think it's the same. Oh, there's a picture of the original cover. Looks like. But I honestly can't even. I'm zooming in like a. I don't know, something dirty. I don't know what the other pictures are. 1981. Well, also 1981. Exit Stage Left. It's their second live double album. Went platinum, of course, produced by Terry Brown. Let's talk about the cover art. This, of course, was Hugh Simon again. You had your snowy owl from what Fly By Night. You got a man in the suit. It's the man in the. This is not really Charlie Chaplin. He's got a bigger mustache. Looks like John Cleese. So it's the man in the suit from Hemispheres, and the woman holding the curtain was also on the cover of Permanent Waves. So she got a better dress. She actually dresses like Paula Poundstone, I think. And she's somebody there. That's the left side of the stage. So they're about to exit stage left. Geniuses. That's what I'm saying. Pure geniuses. 1982, Signals, platinum. Of course, produced by Terry Brown. It was actually the last album that Terry Brown produced for them. New World Man. He's a New World Man. Of course, Hugh Simon designed this. It's a Dalmatian and a piece of AstroTurf. It's not even real grass. And a rental fire hydrant. You can rent a fire hydrant. Anyway, you could probably buy a fake one, but you have to rent one. And they did it on the roof of the studio. That's exciting. There's also a 40th anniversary cover where the dog looks very perplexed because the fire hydrant is enormous. That'll teach him. He take him all day to pee on that one though. 1984, Grace Under Pressure, platinum. It was their 10th album. Had Distant Early Warning. It had artwork, of course, by Hugh Simon. It was their first album produced by somebody besides Terry Brown. It was produced by a guy named Peter Henderson. Now, I don't know that guy. But, we're looking it up. He has also produced albums for Split Enz, who I love, and The Tubes, and Sammy Hagar, and, if that's not enough for you, Supertramp. So, there's your pedigree on the new producer dude. Now, this album cover here, of course, Hugh Simon. I don't know what this is. There's a bald dude, I guess. Is he one of the creators of? Have you seen Prometheus? Yeah, he looks like one of those dudes. It looks like there's water, and maybe there's ice, and it broke. I don't know. 1985, Power Windows. Now, this was the first album by Rush that I actually bought. Now, I probably had heard of them, but that was the first album I bought of Rush. This, of course, went platinum. Had Big Money, Mystic Rhythms, and produced by a guy named Peter Collins. So another change in production. Who had worked with Nick Kershaw, if you remember that guy. Air Supply. I'm all out of Fox. I'm so lost without them. And Billy Squier, who I love Billy Squier. So, cover, of course, by Hugh Simon, which depicts, I guess, a shirtless. It looks like Anthony Michael Hall around the time Weird Science came out. Shirtless kid. He's got no socks or shoes on. Sitting on a chair, looking out the window with. Looks like he's got a remote control. Yet there's 3 old-timey looking TVs on the floor behind him. 1987, Hold Your Fire. It's got some dots. This one is a little less. Gold. Produced by Peter Collins, again. I guess it was one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's try this guy again. This one had special guest Amy Mann. Hush, hush, Keep it down now. Voices carry. She sang a little better than that. She sang on Time Stand Still. And a guy named Andy Richards, who had added some synth and keys on Power Windows. But here's the thing about okay, I only mention people if there's something interesting about them. Now, I don't know anything about Andy Richards, except he also played on Careless Whisper by Wham, Relax, like Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and he even played for Corey Hart. So he played some good stuff. Of course, album cover by Hugh Syme. It depicts, I guess, 3 red balls in their shadows. Maybe they're seeing how many more weeks of red winter there is. 1989, A Show of Hands. There's 1. There's 2. That's all I got. Live album. It was gold. All I got I got nothing. But it's a cool album. Here, let's talk about the album. So there's a guitar player. There's a drummer, and it looks like a guy keyboard player, I guess, who may or may not have a bass guitar somewhere on his person. 1989, Presto. It's a lot of bunny wabbits. Gold. This one sold gold. Produced by Rupert Hine. Now, there's a name. This guy, you should know Rupert Hine. He produced albums for Thompson Twins, Howard Jones, Tina Turner. So actually, it was Tina Turner, Private Dancer, I believe. So he did some big stuff. Hugh Syme, of course, did the cover. The only cover. Black and white design depicting a levitating magician's hat. Well, that's true. On a hill with a rabbit coming out. And a bunch of other rabbits. I guess they've already started mating. I don't know what it means. Presto. I guess, yeah, you're a magician. Presto. And here's a bunch of goddamn rabbits running around, breeding all over the place and taking a shit. Rupert Hine also played... Rupert Hine also played additional keyboards and did backing vocals. And if that's not enough, Jason Snyderman played additional keyboards. Now, does the name Snyderman sound familiar? Does it? Ring a bell? Ding, ding, ding. If you're Canadian, should. Son of Sam Snyderman. Of course, Sam the Record Man. Yeah, we missed that. He also, Sam Snyderman also has played for Randy Bachman and Chalk Circle. God, I love me some Chalk Circle. I should talk about Chalk Circle. Look those guys up. A great Canadian band. 1990, Chronicles, which is a best of, a double platinum. And honestly, I don't know. Could be a Rusty Buick for all I know. 1991, Roll the Bones. Well, that's actually another good cover. Also produced by Rupert Hine. Went platinum. And the artwork by Hugh Syme, which depicts, I guess, a bunch of dice. Black dice, white dice, and a kid. Well, is he rolling the bone? He's kicking a skull down the street. Does that count? Is that the same thing? 1993 Rush, Counterparts. This one was produced by Peter Collins, who had produced something for them before. This one sold gold. Michael Kamen did some orchestration on Nobody's Hero. And of course, Hugh Syme designed this. I guess it's Counterparts because there's a nut and a bolt. I guess. 1996 Test for Echo. I love this cover. This was, of course, produced by Peter Collins again. Went gold, and Hugh Syme designed this. That's an Inukshuk. Am I saying that right? An Inukshuk. Pile of rocks that looks kind of like a dude on a snowbank. I like that one. It's pretty good. 1997 Retrospective 1. I guess it covered a lot of their. It's another compilation. It covered some of the stuff from 74 to 80, and then of course, let's just talk. There's the Starman. It's a nice painting of a Starman and a cleaning guy enjoying the painting of Starman. And then later in the year, I guess Retrospective 2, which covered stuff from 81 to 87, and then at some point when they were doing CDs, they would have three colored fingerprints, I believe, in the bottom of the plastic tray thing, and I think that's what that is. I could be wrong. I'll look it up. If I'm wrong, I'll put And if I'm right, I'm gonna ding ding I get a sandwich for that. 1998, different stages live. Oh, they played in different stages. That makes sense. That's actually oh god, that's like the I when I had to go to the doctor all the time. Those would be in the little play area at the doctor. Those little things you could build stuff. It's like a sort of a erector set. I could be wrong. Different stages live album sold gold. 2002 Vapor Trails. That could very well be a vapor trail. I'm not entirely sure. Could also be a close-up of a fart. I'm not sure. Vapor Trails, produced by Paul Northfield, who had previously worked as an engineer on 7 previous Rush albums. Also worked with Asia, Queensryche, and Ozzy. This sold gold in Canada. Well, still pretty good. Hugh Syme, of course, designed this, and I don't know. Go on my Wikipedia. Nothing about that. Sorry. 2003, The Spirit of Radio Greatest Hits, 74 to 87. Compilation. This is not as bad as ELO for compilations. It's still not. This went gold, and there's a radio, and there's the Dalmatian, and I see the Starman on the radio, and I guess we're all enjoying some Rush music on this lovely old-timey radio. Maybe it's got an MP3 player in it, or it's Bluetooth. I'm not sure. 2003 Rush in Rio. That's looks like a dragon with he's got himself a coconut drink and one of those fruit hats. He's having himself a good time. Rush in Rio, a 3-disc live album, has 7 times platinum DVD, I guess. So I'm not sure. Platinum is different for DVD, so it's 700,000. But the album was gold. 2004. The next thing is it's an EP. And it's called Feedback, which could be that to me is a double entendre because you could have feedback on stage, or maybe they got some feedback from fans who said, "Hey, why don't you guys do a bunch of crappy covers?" It could be it. That's pretty much it's just a list of. It looks like it could be a poster for Woodstock. You know, I could probably put this on the wall with a black light and it'll look really cool. 2005 R30 30th anniversary world tour. 5 times platinum, just a DVD, so it's 500,000. 2006, no, I'm just kind of skipping. Rush Gold, which looks like most of their album covers. Compilation, of course. Essentially, it's retrospective 1 and 2 repackaged. 2007, Snakes and Arrows. Now that's different. Produced by Nick Raskulinskis. This guy worked with the Foo Fighters, Big Wreck, and Hailstorm. Oh man, people I love. This of course was gold in Canada. Hugh Syme designed the cover. It looks like there's snakes and arrows. Then 2008, Snakes and Arrows live, which there's the arrows, there's some snakes on the highway because they're live, and then there's one of those little a wavy road sign. Where are we now? 2009, Rush Retrospective 3. Well, I guess I can use them all together. So that's basically those 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 albums. Probably the greatest hits of those ones. 2000, there's the guy left his broom. The guy who was enjoying that album cover earlier, he left. He must have went to the can. There's also the EP. But the dog's enjoying it, so that's cool. 2009 also, Grace Under Pressure Tour, 1984. So they had a live version of that. So it's pretty much the same cover. It just says tour. 2009, Working Men. It's a live album. So there's your snakes, your arrows. There's a working sign, R30. Putting stuff together. 2011, Rush, Time Machine. Live in Cleveland. They have a little love for Cleveland, as they should, because Cleveland broke them. I don't really. It's 2011. I see. So time is changing because it was in 2011. there's machines, I guess. 2012, Clockwork Angels, which was their last studio album, produced by Nick Raskulinskis. I could tell anything on this one. Of course, the album covered by Hugh Syme. front cover here, it by depicts a clock marked with alchemical symbol. Alchemical. That's a big word. I'm going to have to look that up. I'll put it up here. Instead of numbers. It displays the time as 9:12, which is in the 24-hour time is 21:12. That's a coincidence, which is a reference to their fourth album. 9/12 is also unintentionally a reference to Pert's birthday. Well, I did not know that. September 12th or 9/12. I did not know that. That's a great album cover. 2015, Clockwork Angels Tour. There's pictured all three of them. Oh, God, what is that? It's like a Star Wars ship in the background. Okay. And then also 2015, R40 Live. That's their last live album. That's the last thing that they put out. Unfortunately for us, God, what year was it? It wasn't long after that. Neil Peart said he couldn't tour anymore, so they're not going to tour anymore. They weren't going to tour anymore, and since he has also left us, there will never be a real Rush reunion at this point, unfortunately. So you need to enjoy what we have. And going back through these covers, you know what I gotta say, I'm just go all the way back to one. This is about the album covers. So let's talk about the album covers. I'm gonna rank. Well, I'm gonna say which is the best. And the first one, no. The Owl, not bad. Caress with Steel, not really. 2112. Farewell to Kings is pretty good. But I'm going to skip, Permanent Waves is not bad too. You know what? Moving Pictures, man. I'm going to go with back. Okay. Should I say it too soon? There's some good covers. There's some really good covers. I love the Inukshuk. But Moving Pictures to me, because there's so much going on, that's the best. Because for dumb guys, yes, there's some movers and they have some pictures. For people slightly smarter, there's people crying because the pictures are moving. That's just like, it's a great cover. And I just got to say, Rush, great Canadian band, whether it be a 3-piece or a 4-piece or a 5-piece. Now it's basically a 2-piece if they were to continue. But enjoy the album covers. I'm the guy. And if you're watching this, maybe you're that guy. If you're still watching this, you're probably that guy. I enjoy great album art. I enjoy opening my little album or CD or cassette and reading the liner notes. Sit there and you can, light your whatever, have a butt going, and then just sit there and stare at the cover and try to learn what's going on. Like, enjoy the art. There's art that I would hang on the wall, and that album cover, I would hang that on the wall, and then I'd shake it every once in a while. So it's moving. So that's a fourth entendre. Rush is a great band, great players, great history, great hit songs. Not only the hit songs, but also all the other great, the multi-part half-side album things that they had going on. But what a great band, what a classic band. I can't say anything bad about anything they've ever done. What a great band. So if you've made it this far, I'm sorry it took so long again. If you like this kind of crap, if you really like it, subscribe. And then, of course, there's the third tier. If you really like this crap, do me a favor and watch the whole damn thing. Don't skip the commercials, because that's the only way I make money on this crap. So take a pee. Go to the fridge. Get yourself a snacky poo. Do me a favor. I'm begging you. So subscribe, watch the commercials. Don't forget to share, because share is a treasure. And as always, thanks for watching The Music Snob, or I Know Music, unless it sucks.
Bye.